Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I am your host for today's episode. And today we have Danny Page, owner of DLZ Design, to join us. Today we're going to talk about his business, what it's like to get into business ownership, and what it's like to really own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get episodes when they drop. Well, welcome to the show, Danny. I would love to learn a little bit about you and give us a brief overview of your business.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. So my business started all the way back in 2003. I was around 17 years old and designed my first website for a client. Back then, web design was a little bit different to how it is now. So we were using tools like Microsoft Front Page and Dreamweaver and using more HTML and CSS code than I guess your average business owner would perhaps use now. I think that after the first website went live, because the web design industry was probably a little bit more on the niche side than it is today, we pretty quickly sort of snowballed into other websites. People finding the website and saying, "Oh, can you build me one like this?" And so it went pretty well in the beginning. I think then we started to move on to more e-commerce websites, and we started then using WordPress. And I think it was around that time that I sort of started to understand the point of business and solving problems for your clients. And I think we've always had quite a strong emphasis ever since then on solving those problems. However, as a marketer, I think you sort of solve problems, but good marketing should also, I think, create problems for those businesses as well. So, for example, if you've got a company that wants leads, then I think if you're successful and you generate lots of leads for them, they then start to have the problem of actually following up those leads and selling to those leads. And if they don't have the correct team or sales processes in place to do that, then that's when they start to have real problems. I think in the last few years, we've generally been having feedback from our own clients and other businesses that the generating of the leads isn't so much the problem, but I think nowadays with nobody seems to want to actually answer a phone call nowadays, and email open rates are so bad. They were just having such an issue actually contacting the leads that they'd probably paid quite a lot of money to acquire, and it causes a lot of sleepless nights for business owners. So we sort of went back to the drawing board and sort of started to try to figure out how we could help to solve those problems. And that was when we started to move into AI as a solution for this. And using a conversational AI is all good, but if you're still going to have the same problem with the person answering the phone or replying to an email, then you're no better off. And so that's when we decided to go down the SMS route. So in I think most countries, SMS is quite an underutilized marketing channel. So we started to see really good open rates and really good response rates from doing that. And that sort of side of the business has started to probably take over from the more traditional online marketing that we've been doing for the last couple of decades.
Wow, that is incredible to hear kind of the evolution of your business, especially as technology has changed over the years and how you've been able to kind of pivot to accommodate what's trending and forecast the trends. And now you're moving into the AI world, which is huge. And so I really love that you're kind of like able to do that as your business. I think that's crucial to growth. And so I'd love to kind of hear about your kind of the current ownership of your business. You're the current owner. What does your team look like? Do you have a team? Do you have outside investors? What's that look like?
Yeah, so we've sort of kept things small on purpose. So it's just me and my wife, and I think we've dabbled with outsourcing and the usual sort of agency route where they outsource to maybe India or another country, and we've just never had success with it. So I think we're very much of the opinion that we prefer to really pick and choose who we work with and keep things small and just make sure that the results are spot on for our clients.
And so tell me a little bit about your current role. What's your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, a lot of our work now involves AI. So I spend a lot of the time talking to talking to artificial intelligence, which yeah is really exciting. It's challenging, but yeah, I think we sort of we try now to maintain a good work-life balance. And whilst a few years ago we were working evenings and weekends all the time, we don't want to be in that position now, and I think that's a really important part of our lives. You know, we want to enjoy. We've got some young kids, and we want to enjoy them and spend time with them rather than just being sat in front of a computer talking to AI. So yeah, I think we sort of try to keep it 9 to 5. It doesn't always work like that, but where possible, yeah.
Definitely. Do you have any plans on expanding your team, like whether it be like hiring local folks or anything for the near future?
Not really. As I said, I think we prefer to keep things really small and targeted. We obviously want to improve our own efficiency, but yeah, we're not really thinking of hiring, to be honest.
And primarily, who does your business serve? Like if I walked into the room, how would I know I would be a client for your business?
So I think for the AI side of things, I think it's pretty much any business that generates sales leads or inquiries and that don't convert 100% of them. So I think that is a very wide net. But I think for our ideal client, it's anybody that generates those leads or inquiries at scale. So the more leads, the better. Obviously, we're using basically an automation process in order to sell to or follow up with those leads. And so volume is our friend, really.
Definitely. And what would you say makes your business unique? Like, why would your customers and clients choose you?
Okay, so first of all, what we're doing, there aren't that many people in the world doing it. Obviously, the world of AI and that sort of technology is growing at a crazy speed, and something that was almost impossible a couple of years ago now is pretty mainstream. So I think we're fairly unique in that we've taken AI in order to solve a specific problem. Also, one of our USPs is that with the AI side of things, we work 100% pay on performance on a back end deal. So we're so confident that it'll work for the right client that we don't charge them anything up front, and it's just done as a profit share or perhaps a pay per sale model.
That is really cool. And what is one thing you wish people knew more about your business?
I think again because this is so new, people know us as being web design, online marketing. Perhaps we need to push out there a little bit more as to what we're actually doing now. And I think just the results that are possible using AI and how good we've made it conversationally, and how difficult it is to tell from a real human.
Definitely. I really love the power of AI. I've used it a lot in my life too. So I think you're, definitely onto something here, which leads me perfectly into this next group of questions, which is all around your marketing, because marketing is so vital to any business success. So I love to hear what businesses are doing to improve their marketing. And so I'm curious, what are some of the things you're doing now to market your business?
So traditionally, we've been quite lucky, really, to have really good referrals, and word of mouth marketing has been our main source of new clients, really. However, now we are looking to expand out a lot more in terms of the sort of the types of businesses that we're targeting. I think when clients see this in action, like it's almost a no-brainer for them, because there's no risk involved, because we're paying on performance. They share a sample of data. We give a totally free trial, and so once we get to them, they want to trial it, and 99% of the ones we've done so far are like, yeah, let's continue this, let's go forward with it. And actually, they're then coming to us with other problems in their processes that they face, that this can also help to solve for them as well. So yeah, it's just getting in front of the right people, really, and that may be through introductions, that may be through LinkedIn or other outreach methods like that.
And now when you're getting these inquiries in and these leads in, do you use a CRM, or do you have a CRM that you prefer to use for your business?
We don't personally use a CRM. It's one of those where we perhaps don't practice what we preach, and our own business processes probably could do with being a little bit better, even though we advise our clients on being better.
It's like when the chef goes home and eats like ramen noodles. I get it. That's very common. I appreciate the transparency. And we've talked a lot about your marketing, your business, and I'd love to learn about you. And so, why did you choose to go into business for yourself rather than working for somebody else? And what did that look like for you?
So I went to university, and I had this maybe side business at the time, designing websites, and I got a graduate job in Nottingham in the UK, and I just quickly found that I couldn't motivate myself to work for somebody else, and I sort of had the mindset back then that if I can do this for somebody else, why can't I just do it for myself? And I guess some people love working for somebody else because it's relatively low risk, and everything's sort of sorted out for them. Whereas I just prefer to do what I want to do and focus on the things that are important to me. So I've never really looked back since then, I guess.
And looking back at your journey so far, what has been one, like, a memorable roadblock or a hurdle that you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
Um, I think, again, working for yourself, everybody has peaks and troughs, ups and downs, and I'd be lying if I said that everything was easy. There's always something still now that comes up that stresses you out or stumps you or whatever it may be. Something specific, I'm not sure if I've got anything sort of specific I can give you. But yeah, you just have to keep going, I guess.
Definitely. That's a good mindset to get through the hard times, because business ownership definitely has those peaks and valleys. What are some of your methods to get through hard times?
I think just work as hard as you can to overcome the hard times, but also take time off as well. I think sometimes if you've got a problem that you can't solve, maybe just going for a walk in the countryside, or spending some time with the kids, and then you come back to it and suddenly you know how to solve the issue. Whereas you can sit there and spend hours and hours hunched over your computer and not get anywhere with it. So yeah, just take a break. Don't let it stress you out too much.
And looking forward to kind of what comes next for your business. It seems like you've got something you're building momentum towards. You've got these great systems in place. What does business look like for you for the next 3 to 5 years?
So I think, again, technology is moving so quickly at the moment that, like, it's almost a bit of a who knows. I think we want to try our best to stay at the sharp end of this stuff, but it's just there's so much. Like, I think anybody that has anything to do with AI just gets a little bit overwhelmed with how much stuff is how much is going on at the moment, how much is changing, how fast things are improving. I think we just need to focus on our clients and solving those problems, and hopefully stay at the sharp end and make sure that we can solve those problems more efficiently for them in the future.
Definitely. I agree with you there. And, kind of looking at the future of your business and goal setting, how do you approach goal setting in business?
So goals are something that I've only relatively recently started using as perhaps a motivational tool. I think myself and my wife have very different ideas of what goals should be, and I'm starting to come around to her way of thinking a little bit now. So I think her way of dealing with goals is to create goals and stick with them, whereas I've always been very much like, if you hit the goal, then you move the goalpost to the next target. And I think sometimes that can lead very much to being sort of unfulfilled, because you never feel like you've won or succeeded. Whereas if you can just take a little bit of time to celebrate your accomplishments, then you get that a little bit of fulfillment that can then motivate you further.
Well, I love that too. And we've covered so much ground in this conversation. It's been such a great, way to kind of inspire other business owners. And, for anybody watching, definitely listen through this a couple of times to hear, Danny's great words. And Danny, I'd love to move into a section of our conversation called our rapid fire questions. And these are questions where you answer very top of mind answers, kind of the first thing that comes to mind. So are you ready for some rapid fire?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome. Our first question is, what is the key to success for you?
I think taking action. So I'm not sure you said it, but imperfect action beats perfect in action every time. So just, if you've got a dream or an idea, just go for it.
And what is one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
I think exactly what I just said, but yeah, I think it's really important just to take action, and don't try to make everything 100% perfect before you do it. You obviously need to understand the problems that you're trying to solve, but just do it.
Definitely. And what is one book or any piece of content? It could be a podcast, anything that you read most recently.
So I've just started reading The Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett's book. So yeah, it's really good. I love his podcast as well. It's really interesting from loads of different perspectives of running a business, from the psychological side, to actually like understanding your health and mental fitness as well.
I'm going to put that on my list for sure. And one final question is, if you could choose only one thing to rapidly improve in your business overnight, what would it be?
Um, I'd like to say I'd like to remove our accounting processes, because I hate doing accounts, and that's something that maybe we should outsource a little bit more. But yeah, in terms of the actual business sales processes itself, I love to get on calls and demo what we're doing to all sorts of businesses and get feedback. And so I think maybe we need to improve that and get on more calls, perhaps.
Well, thank you for those great answers going through our rapid fire. Before we get into our final question of the day, how can people learn more about your business?
You can find me on LinkedIn. My name's Danny Page, and our company website is dlzdesign.co.uk.
Well, thank you so much, Danny. It's been a joy to have you on the show. Our final question for today is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Most inspiring. I think just learning about other businesses, understanding their problems, but also understanding what they've done to overcome problems in the past, and how we can learn from other businesses.
That's incredible. Well, thank you again for taking the time to talk with me and share all about your business and yourself. It's been a joy to have you.
Thank you very much.